Hello Luxury Home Show, I'm Kasha and welcome to my home Halka Lodge in the west coast of Ireland. The tiles, they retain the heat long after the fire has gone out, so it's a really cozy feature of the house. This is Brownie and she also loves the space. And actually one of my favorite things to do is to have a sauna and jump in the pool, and then you're surrounded by this view. It's honestly dreamy. This is the only place in Ireland to process cacao beans into chocolate, and it's all behind a glass, and it's full of visitors from all around the world that come and see how chocolate is really made from bean to bar. So before we head inside, just a little bit about the property itself. The outside is definitely inspired by Scandinavia. We've travelled to Norway multiple of times and we realised that grass roof actually is the only way to help to blend the house seamlessly into the landscape, and that's what we really wanted to do. There's a lot of Japanese simplicity inside and a lot of Polish folk. I'm Polish myself, so it was really nice for me to add all those elements into the house. But it was really important to blend the house into the landscape because the landscape is very unique. And of course, it rains so much in Ireland, it's always green. So we didn't want to interrupt the mountains, the green fields. And before we built it here, it was literally just a field, so there was nothing here before that. The reason why we built the house here is because it is within the walking distance to the chocolate factory, which is our own little chocolate factory. It's called Hazel Mountain Chocolate, and actually it also has a grass roof. It's a little bit chilly here, so let's head inside and I'll show you around. This is the heart of the house. It's the kitchen combined with the dining area, and we opted for extra high ceiling just to open up the view, the big window, to make sure that the view comes in completely uninterrupted. And it is the first thing you see when you come in, and you're just drawn to the view, and it does feel like you're not seeing anything else. We also opted for not having a TV in the main room because it is such a relaxing and such a serene space because of the view. So we've moved it completely away from the main house. It's a great space for our daughter as well. And one of her favorite things is literally just run around the island and the table with her friends, which is great to see too. I mentioned earlier on that we opted for a Scandinavian interior. So when we first built the house and it was completely raw and we came in here, we were a little bit worried that the ceiling is too high, that it's going to create this really cold church-like feel. So we've opted for a very Scandinavian material, which is American oak. So we put the oak slats up on the ceiling and it really brings the space together, makes it really cozy and really warm because it is about 4 meters high, which is pretty high. The balloons you see up on the ceiling, they're just from the birthday party. We had a birthday party a few days ago and there's absolutely no way that we can get them down. We're going to have to wait for them to deflate and just come down naturally. Let's go into the kitchen, my favorite place. That's where the food is. And in the previous house that I used to live, I had barely 2 meters of countertop. And for me as a baker and chocolatier, it was just so important to have an extra space. I experiment in the kitchen a lot and I bake and I cook a lot. So we opted for extra large island, which is fantastic. And in the island, I wanted to have push to open cupboards because your hands are often full. So just with your knee, you can open them all. And we also have a bin in the island, which is fantastic because you can just scoop everything down into the bin and open it with your knee. Just the side of the island, we wanted to tie in with the ceiling. So just on this side, we decided to go with the slats kind of style of the oak. In terms of the colour of the kitchen, because of the view and the green fields that surround the house, we wanted that to be reflected in the kitchen. So we opted for a green colour, which is called Frogmore Green. And it isn't very bright, it is quite muted, but it does have that kind of juicy greenness about it that will represent the fields around the house. I actually really like that. Because the ceiling is so high, we had to find solutions to make sure the kitchen is well lit without dropping the lights all the way down. So we went ahead with the lights just above the sink, and then a separate lighting, which I actually really love, because it's almost like a fishing line. It's so thin, you only see one side of the cable, but it's that island lighting I find it really gives a lot of light, but it's really subtle as well. One of the features in the kitchen that I really wanted to have that reminds me of home, because all the kitchen units used to have reeded glass when I was growing up in Poland. I wanted to have something similar. So we have reeded glass on top of the cupboards, but also there is a full cupboard of all my favorite pottery. And I thought it'd be nice to have it all there behind the reeded glass. Coming out from around the corner where we have a wine fridge, but it's not a wine fridge anymore. It's full of juices and little pieces my daughter loves putting there. But we have the two breakfast stools, and they're really great because, you know, kitchen is where the food is, and that's where people actually really like to sit. So it's a really practical thing to have here. And the painting just represents some folk designs from the area from Poland that I'm from. And up here we have pheasants, and this area is populated with pheasants. So it's a lovely combination of the Irish and Polish. It's really close to my heart. I really love it. So right here we have our dining table, which is really nice to have it quite close to the island, because that's where we move the food over to the dining table. It's not too big and it's not too small. I find 6 chairs is just the perfect size. And we're coming to my absolute favorite feature of the house, which is the stove. It's a traditional Polish ceramic stove, which is something I grew up with. A lot of my family members would have had a ceramic stove. It is handmade, and what is fabulous about this stove is that the tiles, they retain the heat long after the fire has gone out. So it's a really cozy feature of the house. And we use the fireplace in Ireland a lot. This part of this room is a really relaxing area. Because we don't have a TV, we very often sit on the sofa and literally stare into the view. And it really draws you in, whether you want it or not. And a lot of our friends that come, they just end up sitting here and sipping wine or tea. Very serene space that we all enjoy to spend time in. Over here, this is Brownie, and she also loves the space. And then in the winter time, when we have our stove on a lot, that's where she spends her time. Our bedroom is at the very end, but I wanted to show you the bathroom, and this is the only bathroom in the main building. When we were designing the house, I really wanted to have one bathroom for the size of this family, for the size of this building. And I also grew up in Poland, and we only ever had one bathroom, and I really felt that one is enough. So we opted for a bath. Who doesn't like to take a bath after a long day of work? In our previous home, our bathroom was very classy. It had a lot of muted colours. So for this one, and because we have a little girl, I wanted it to be a little bit more fun, add a little bit more colours. So we opted for the traditional Polish ceramic sink and the terracotta bath. This is my daughter's bedroom, and there isn't a lot I can say about it because she's completely in charge of choosing what she wants. My aesthetic doesn't really matter anymore. I try to pick, you know, very muted colours and wooden toys, but that is not the case anymore. And yeah, my daughter loves colour. She loves pink. And yeah, this is truly her own style, her own bedroom. And this is my daughter artwork. This is not to be removed. This is not meant to be going anywhere. She loves putting her artwork here. And that's her goldfish. She probably has the best view in the house. This is our bedroom. It's really simple, but it's really functional. And I think the 4-posted bed really works here, aesthetically, functionally as well. And I think the girls watching it will know what I mean. You know the dress that's got pockets, such a bonus. This bed is basically a dress with pockets. Ta-da! So it's got extra storage, which is fantastic. You can keep all your books or your chargers. And for a person like me who really likes her countertops clean, this is a great solution. Another great thing about this bedroom is that it's got beautiful views from the front. Also at the back there is a window. So it's really beautiful in the summertime to open all the windows completely. And we have a deck right outside the bedroom, so you can just walk outside bare feet. So coming out of the living area, I just want to talk about this part of the house, which is a breezeway, which functions as a cooling space in the summertime. It's really breezy here. We have loads of chairs out here. And then in the wintertime, it really serves as an extra kind of coverage and extra protection from the wind. And as we come around, we're back on the porch, just the front of the house. This section is made up entirely of Durawood, which is moisture-resistant wood, moisture-resistant material, which is really important in Ireland, especially in the west of Ireland. So it actually retains that colour, that beautiful warm colour all year round. And there is actually a few outbuildings that are separate from the main house. And I'm going to start from the guest bedroom just right over here. The guest bedroom, it is quite small in size. It is ensuite, which is great to have a bathroom for guests, you know, in the same space. But we opted for the same bed as well as we have in our main bedroom. It's just for the extra storage, which is really practical, and visually, aesthetically, I think it really fits in. It just makes the room. And I think the benefit of having guest bedrooms separate from the main house is just purely privacy. You know, everybody that visits me really enjoys retreating to their own space, and we enjoy that too. So I think that was a win as well to make that decision. So the fact there is a bathroom just around the corner here is just really, it's just a full setup for the guests, that they don't have to go to the main house for anything really. So I think it's a very functional guest bedroom. The building just right behind me, the black building, is just a storage building, which is great. Again, separate from the house, we can store everything we want, Christmas tree, summer furniture. And then as we come around into this little courtyard, we have another outbuilding, which is the Japanese charred wood covered one, and it is our cinema room. Because our main living area and the kitchen is just so serene and the view is so important, we didn't want to interrupt that really calm, relaxing feel. We moved the TV set into separate building, and it was one of the best decisions we've made, because once you're here, you're honestly cocooned and you're completely separate from any domestic noises, beeping of the dishwasher. You're honestly just relaxing, and yeah, we get loads and loads of different nights here with snacks, and yeah, it's a great room. Doubles up as a playroom as well for our daughter, which is bonus. Because it was really important for us that the space was really relaxing, we opted for muted colours and ambient lighting, but not too dark, because it does double up as a playroom for our daughter. In the same building, over here we have our plunge pool and sauna. And actually one of my favourite things to do is to have a sauna and jump in the pool. And especially at midnight at night, we use sauna every single day. I don't use the pool every single day as well, because it does get cold in Ireland, but it is a fantastic combination of the heat and the cold. And then you're surrounded by this view. It's honestly dreamy. So we've taken a little walk over to the chocolate factory, but because it is raining, let's go inside. So we're inside the building now, away from the rain, and we are in the cafe part of the business. I'll show you the chocolate factory in a minute, but just to give you a backstory of how this all came about. I was traveling from Dublin on a tour to the cliffs of Moher, and I stopped at this little cottage. At the time it was just a little cottage, like a tiny little coffee shop. I took a hike, and that's how I met my husband. I came back to this little cottage, and my husband's name is John, and his grandparents used to live in this house, and he converted that into cafe. And for me to make it all work, I moved from Dublin to the west of Ireland, and I took over the cafe, and then the chocolate factory just became it just came about really organically. It wasn't planned, or there was no business plan at all. It was just a way for us to make life together in the west of Ireland. So now this is the only place in Ireland to process cacao beans into chocolate, and it's all behind the glass, and it's full of visitors from all around the world that come and see how chocolate is really made from bean to bar. Come around here, we have a chocolate factory, we have a truffle room. I'll show you everything. Wow, look at all the chocolate. I'm still impressed. But this kitchen is where we actually make all the chocolate bars, all the truffles, loads of different products. So we work with chocolate over here, But I will show you just around the corner, we actually process cacao beans into chocolate first. So this is the only place in Ireland that you can actually come, visit and see that process happening in front of your eyes. And we're doing some Christmas production now, which is always extra special and it's always so exciting. And this is where the real magic happens. That's where we roast cocoa beans, we mill them into chocolate. We age our chocolate for about 4 weeks before we can eat it. So over here, that's where we roast cocoa beans. When they arrive, they're just fermented, so they don't smell like chocolate at all. If you think about fermented food, it doesn't remind you of chocolate at all. It's only after we roast cocoa beans like these ones, that's when the aroma of chocolate starts to release. And we take the shell off. We actually make cocoa tea out of the shell. So we take the shell off, and this is the cocoa bean that we put in our mills. And for about 24 hours, up to 36 hours, they get milled with chocolate until cocoa butter releases and it turns into silky, beautiful chocolate. And now we're going to go to Truffle Room. It's a separate building that produces and makes truffles only. So welcome to my truffle room, and this is where we produce truffles, but it's also a little visitor center. So when visitors come and they can't get a tour, they can still come here. They read all about the business, all about the truffles, all about our chocolate. And here's the words to live by. These are the truffles. And because we do a lot of Christmas production now, they're all very, very cutely themed, like these Santa bellies. These Christmas night stars. Would you like to taste one, Tom?
Absolutely.
These are the mince pie truffles. You know mince pies?
Mince pie truffles.
Yeah, so it's all locked in a truffle.
Ooh, and one.
Well, that's how you're meant to eat it. Yeah, one bite truffles.
It's a mince pie.
It is a mince pie. And that's it for the tour. Thanks very much, Luxury Home Show. And if you'd like more details about the house, Halka Lodge or the chocolate factory, there's details in the description. And thanks so much. Bye.
Hello Luxury Home Show. My name is Jerry from Jerry Designs and welcome to my home in Ireland. Come on in and take a look.